Hey guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight have Terrence helping out answer questions or concerns that come up along the way. Terrence, are you with us?
Yes, good evening, everybody.
And so for those of you guys that are new, I do see a couple new names in here once again, which is great to see. The night class is a class solely dedicated to you guys. You guys throw your guys' suggestions and ideas on what you want to know, and I'll teach it for you guys. Kind of try to keep it around an hour, half hour to an hour long class on each subject here. And we do use the GoToWebinar to do these. Now, if you guys do have questions, which I definitely urge you to ask as many as you want, there is a questions panel in the GoToWebinar. If you type those in there, and then Terrence can pipe them off to me, and we'll get those questions answered right away for you guys. So.
Yep, fire away, guys.
So then, like I was saying, these are for just you guys for a learning purpose here. So if you guys do have those ideas, send them over to me in an email, and we'll send you off some SolidCAM swag. For those of you guys that don't have my email address, let me put that into the chat for you guys. And then also, all the night classes are recorded on our YouTube channel, which is somewhere in here, right here. So if you guys type in SolidCAM University or type in KevCAM, bring you over to this channel here, and tons of videos in here. We're adding, like I said before, we're trying to add 3 videos a week for you guys. Mark's doing a great job with doing these short, quick videos, kind of quick little how-to videos, like the difference between HSS and HSM. That question kind of comes up quite often, so kind of goes through in great detail of what the difference is there. But definitely a great training source here for you guys. I guess the best thing I can suggest is come over to the channel, subscribe, and then you guys will get the option to do a search. And if you're looking in for something particular, type it in right here, and I'll get that added in there for you guys. For those of you guys that are watching YouTube, send it over to me in email if a video that you're looking for, and if it's not there, we'll add it in for you guys. So. And let me put the link for everybody so they have that just in case here. So there is the link to the YouTube channel there. So I guess with that all being said, guys, let's go ahead and kind of get the ball rolling here. Tonight we are going to be covering 5-axis Swarf. So with the Swarf, it's kind of meant for sidewall axial relief feeding is kind of what it's doing there. So it's one of 5 simultaneous 5-axis milling operations, and to produce a really good target surface with only one cut, utilizing the full flute. So what we'll kind of do here is they got some pretty neat options in there for you guys, and lots of great different options. But so what's going to kind of happen is you can kind of see this part is curved, both tilted and curved at the same time. And so what we want to do is kind of bring that 5-axis in there and lay that tool so it's running parallel with this surface right here. Now we can also achieve this in the simultaneous 5-axis like what we covered before. But this one, we don't have to play with any leg angles, lead angles, follow surface, all that stuff. It's automatically going to follow this outside contour for us. So, we'll get the ball rolling here. We'll just grab the Swarf Machining. And you guys will notice this week, some of the things may look a little different. I'm going here on out, I'll be teaching the SolidCAM night classes in SolidCAM 2017. For those of you guys that don't have SolidCAM 2017 and would like it, let me know and we'll get you added in there. We're running on SP1 Hotfix 2, I think, right now. So lots of great new features that they added in there. And actually, before we get the ball rolling too much farther here, let me give you guys the link so you guys can see what's new in SolidCAM 2017. And I think we might even do a night class if there's any interest in the what's new for 17 here. So let me just get you guys the link here. All right.
Well, Corliss is for that idea.
Perfect. All right, just getting over to, all right, here it is. Copy link. Okay, so I put the what's new in SolidCAM 2017 into the chat for you guys. It's just a PDF document kind of going through what we've added in there and stuff. And we got a couple people. Let's see.
Yeah, George, he's for that.
Oh, okay. Looks like I have 2015 still working for me. Of course. Yep. Yeah, if you guys are comfortable with working with 15, definitely keep working with it. But like I said, we've added a lot of great new features in with 17. So yeah, maybe let's see.
Yeah, I think you hit a hot spot there, Kev.
Yeah, sounds like it. So maybe I'm trying to think of the class schedule here. Let me just pull up. So next week we're not going to have a class just because of the holiday, and then should we just skip or not skip, but just push off the multi-axis drilling for next week or for 2 weeks and do the what's new in 17? Or do you guys want to get through all the 5-axis stuff and then go to the what's new in 17? Anybody?
Yep.
I will see if thanks, Greg. No, it's up to you guys. You guys tell me what you guys want. Push back, so long as it happens in the order, it doesn't matter to me. Nope, sounds good. Maybe we'll just kind of mix it up a little bit and throw that in there for you guys, and you guys can kind of see what we've all added in there. And for those of you guys that have the 4K monitors, all these icons and everything is built for the new 4K stuff. So I know that was a little bit of a holdup, but now the 4K support is there for you guys. So we won't have any small icons for you guys anymore. So, okay, let's get rolling on the Swarf here. So with Swarf Machining, the first one, there's nothing really to even bother with right here. It's just your coordinate system. You guys can pick which one you want. Here is where it gets into the good stuff here. Now, what we have is we have different strategies. So you can set it to, we'll start at the bottom here. You can do shortest distance. So it's going to do kind of the more minimal rotations as it's the tool is flexing around there. We can do automatic, so it's automatically just going to follow the contour of the wall right here. We have with main direction, so you can actually set almost like a fixed angle in one direction or the other direction, and then you can pick what axes you want it to be kind of angled off to, I guess you'd say. You can do it with the upper and lower level. So this is kind of like the morph between boundary curves. So you can grab the upper curve, and then for the lower level, you can grab the lower curve. And as I'm kind of moving this around, you know, you have lots of different options over here, and I'll kind of get through this, kind of jumping around here. And then we can do synchronize with tilt lines. So this is kind of the same as the simultaneous 5-axis, and you guys can grab actual, you know, lines that are in there and follow off of those lines also. So for this particular one, a lot of times I'm finding, you know, automatic is kind of the go-to. And like I've said with, you know, a lot of our, or pretty much all of our operations inside SolidCAM, what comes in as default usually is set up pretty well. So what we can do now is, since we have our automatic strategy, I can select, you know, what the Swarf path is. I can also do a floor surface, or I can hit my checkbox and do tilt lines, upper curve, lower curve. So you guys can pick a lot of these in here and add them in there. So if I just checkbox all these, and then I can have access, whoops, exit out of here. I can have access to all these. But for this particular one, we can just go with, you know, the surface right here. So I'll just grab the areas that I'm trying to cut right here. And I will also turn on my floor, and I can grab my floor surfaces here. And we're done. Now, if I wanted to add tilt lines in there, I can definitely add those in there, but it's going a little overboard. I mean, I don't really need to from what I have right here. So this is, pretty self-explanatory here. The pictures do a really good representation of kind of what's going on here, of, how it's kind of swarfing around the blade or a fin or something like that. So, all right, so let's go ahead and grab our tool. Levels are going to be the same as what we've always seen all along. So we can set up our levels, but, we're machining in Z right here. So, just leave it in Z. Toolpath parameters. So a little bit different looking in here. We have our surface quality, like as normal. We can set, if we want to work on, the left side, right side, inside, outside. Like I said, we have the automatic detect for you, or we can do a surface normal too. So a lot of different options right here if you just want to work on one side versus the other side. Your direction of cut right here, and your cutting method. Now this will, depending, if I just grabbed one surface right here and we're doing in step downs, excuse me, then I would have the option right here to do like a zigzag. Now where do I want the guided tool at? Well, I can do the lower curve or the upper curve of whatever's going on. Now that curve, since I picked the floor, it's just going to automatically create a bottom curve for us. So really not much we have to do here unless we just want to kind of fine tune things just a little bit more. Now what we can do over here is we can add extensions on there. So if we're just doing this blade just as a straight through and we want to extend it off farther past, we can put an extension in there. We can do it, align it with the edge or with the start angle or automatic. So if you kind of see, and I'll try to explain this as best I can, so you can kind of see our blade is kind of curving around right here. Well, what's going to happen is if we extend that off, it's going to kind of keep that same curvature and just keep curving around. However much farther I tell it to extend off. So this is kind of like a little bit of a lead-in, lead-out extension, or when we were doing the 5-axis, if we were going to extend off the tool path to go a little bit farther. So start point, we can pick where we want to start. So I can leave it at automatic, and actually let's just do save and calculate and see where this is going to put this. So we're kind of starting right here on a corner. Obviously not a great spot to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell it to, so we can do it exact. You can put dimensions in there. We have automatic. You guys can pick 2 points. You can pick a tilt line, or we can do 1 point. So if I just pick 1 point and I just tell it that I want to start right there, I have to hit the little browse button, hit right there. It's going to capture my X, Y, and Z. Hit OK. And now that toolpath has moved over to here now. So just kind of picking where you want to start off things at. Now your corners. Now this is more if you're doing like a inside corner. So we have the option to do sharp corners, rounded corners, or relief groove corners. Kind of doing like a V carving, I guess you would kind of say. You can put what angle in there and the direction, the angle. So we're doing it at 150 degrees, but if we want to limit down to 100 degrees, that option's there for you guys. So really won't matter right now. Same thing with the outside corners. So we can do a roll, a sharp, or do a loop, and the loop kind of does around the outside. You can actually put a radius around there, so it does. This works really good, so you don't get the jerkiness of your machine doing those square corners. You don't get those instant, G1 moving in X direction, then G1 moving in Y direction. You get that little bit of a machine jerk there, so that kind of eliminates there. There we go. That's the loops I was looking for. So it does little kind of loops and kind of keeps flowing through. Does another little loop going all the way through. So And we'll just do a roll around here. Okay, tool axis control. Not much in here for you guys. We can do a max angle right here. We can change up minimum rotations. We can set up a fanning distance to just limit the cuts. And this is the kind of when we get into the advanced of the simultaneous that we were talking about, kind of have those same options in there. But not a lot in here because we're basically telling it to follow along that surface. So we want to do one cut going all the way down, finishing it off. So link, same as all the other operations as HSS and 5-axis. Let's just go ahead and throw a lead in and a lead out here. And we can do a tangential arc, and let's just do a 50 thou. And maybe for this one, we'll just do a vertical tangent arc, change it up a little bit. Because now we're not starting right on the material, we're kind of swooping in and going around. So we're coming down, coming up to the wall, going around, coming out, and then it's actually coming up at an angle and off that part. So gouge check, a little bit different in here also. So it's automatically checking against the wall, so that you don't even have to turn that on anymore. Now you can do it against the guide curve only. You can do it against swarf surfaces. We can actually do additional surfaces or the swarf and additional surfaces. So you can actually do a check faces right here. Now here's kind of like the linking between the gouge check. So kind of pretty much the same thing here. And then down here, this is, I guess what you guys could kind of call this is gouge 1 up here in this box, gouge 2 in this box, and kind of gouge 3 in this box down here. Now this bottom one, avoiding by retracting, we do have, we can do along the tool axis here or along the contact line. If we do contact line, I'm just trying to, this one I'm a little confused on just because I'm not sure where the line actually is. So, but we won't worry about that right now. And we'll get into a little bit more of this in our last part here, but clearance data is the same as all of them, just doing your clearance around your holder, shank, and all that stuff. Now, roughing it more, what you guys can do in here is we can actually do this down in step downs if we want to. If we didn't want to take this all in one cut, we can do it in multiple cuts. One thing I do like about here versus the roughing in more in the 5-axis is I can specify by number of slices, which is the same as simultaneous 5-axis, but I can also do by a set distance. So I can just tell it that I want to step down, 50 thou, and it's going to keep moving down 50 thou throughout the pass. So that's kind of a nice feature. Or you can do by slices here, and like I said, I can just do it in one slice, or if I want to kind of divvy it up between 5 slices and it's going to automatically figure out the math for us, that option is there. Now, when we're actually doing our slice downs, we can actually have it set up to follow the curvature. So right now, it's set up to morph, but what we can do is do a step from the top where it's kind of following the top contour. And if I can get this. So it's following the top contour, and then as it gets down to the floor, it's still keeping that top contour going. And same thing for the bottom. So if we, you'll see right here, it's following the bottom contour, working its way out, going that way. My favorite is going to be the morph, just because when we're doing, from bottom or top, we're kind of getting a little bit of a waste of cut going on in there. Because you'll see as we get up to the top right here, this one's going to kind of keep continuing out, where if we did a morph, it's going to kind of change it, keeping it kind of like how morph between boundary curves works. So it's kind of evens the lines out as it goes from the top to the bottom. So tool guidance, we can set up, as, user defined, and we can do a tool shift for each slice or for each constant for each slice or gradual for each slice. Now this is more like the damp. Let me just, here, let me save and calculate. I'll show you exactly what I mean here. If we go to advanced right here, this is exactly what it's doing right here. So you got the, you know, you can kind of shift it in the, if we want to go a little bit deeper into the material, we can put a negative number in there. You know, like I said, it's the exact same thing as what you guys are seeing here as they carried over into this page. It just looks just a little bit different. Okay, we were right here. And, you know, we have our ability to do a transform. Same thing with the transformation right here. Now, I think in 2016, this button was not here. In 17, that button is there because I think I was doing a couple parts in 16 and I didn't see that there. And the only spot I was able to do it was right here. But we do have the full transform functionality where you can do, you know, a rotate, translate, mirror, fourth axis, and coordinate system. A little bit different than, you know, your rotate, translate right here. So a couple different options right there, and kind of went through that last couple weeks with the, or like especially last week with Justin doing that turbine blade. And then your links, you know, between slices, this is going to be the same thing as your link page right here. But the only thing difference is when we're doing the roughing links. So as it's kind of coming down into steps, we can have set up our own links right there for you guys. So any questions on the buttons inside of the Swarf machining? Okay. So let's go ahead and simulate this here. Okay, so I guess I didn't really go over what we previously did here, but did just a 3D eye machining, got it roughed out, did a HSM, kind of finishing off the floor here, did a HSS and finish off the Swarf top up here. You can kind of see the leftover marks from the 3D eye machine ramping up the wall a little bit here. But now we can just come back with our Swarf. So can get this plate around here, kind of arcs in there. Because I can speed up a little bit here. And you'll see that tool is tilting, following all the way around the outside. Following the exact curvature of the blade, or I'm not sure what you guys want to call this, the twisted up part. So, like I said, you know, if we do a check on it here, everything comes out nice and green. We do have a little bit of a blue fade kind of going on here, but we're talking, you know, 0.2 off of what's going on there. And let me just see what I have my accuracy set to. Yeah, so I'm just doing a 1/1000 accuracy right now. So we're definitely good to go here. On this side over here, I did notice, rotate this around here, I'd have to bring in my finishing path of my HSM just a little bit closer on this side here, but to get closer to that radius. But for the Swarf wise though, like I said, it's just following the curvature of that part right there, tilting the tool and everything that's going on there. Let me see. Let's throw this on Machine Sim. I'm not sure. Let me just make sure everything's set up first before we get in there. And we have a distance of 2.45. So let's go ahead and, yeah, 2.5, that'll work. So oh, I didn't set up my Machine Sim. Here, let me get that set up for you guys real quick. actually, I think. Let me just look real quick here. Okay, I think I got it in the right spot. Nope. You gotta remember where I put that machine sim. See, what I forgot to do is save out my settings from 2016. There we go. Okay, so kind of get in here and play this through. And I'll kind of, let me turn off the housing here for you. Now you can see a lot of number crunching going on here. That's why the simulation is a little bit slower. Trying to rotate a little bit there and going back around. So easy as that. And like I said, it's kind of takes away having to do the, you know, if we were in the regular simultaneous 5-axis of doing the lead leg angle, you know, on what to pick in here, tilted through a curve, all that stuff, kind of takes out all that guesswork for you guys, and breaks it down to basically just what surface do you want it to follow. You can actually use this for trimming also if you wanted to, well, actually I think we're gonna do that in our next part here, where we can trim the outside of a part on a weird 5-axis. So any questions on this particular part before we run on to our next one here, guys? Okay, looks like we're good. All right. And I'm trying to find my part here that okay. So for some of you guys might remember this part from the 5-axis or the multi-axis roughing that we did here. You can turn that toolpath on to kind of show you guys there. But now basically what I want to do is trim the outside of this nice twisted up part that we have here. So like I said, it's Swarf is going to be a great one for this one because I want that side of that cutter just to follow along there, working its way around. Now this one I'll take in a couple steps coming down, but I got to show you guys a cool little trick that ran across. Actually, Greg Payton actually showed me this one, and it's pretty neat. So, okay, so for this one, I'm going to go shortest distance on, and that way it's just going to kind of shorten up the distance, kind of going through, kind of following the bottom curvature and everything there. So, and for this one, all I really care about is the outside. So let me just select these guys. All right, got everything selected, yep. Okay, So I'm just going to grab that particular one. Really don't, I don't have a floor, so I really don't have to worry about a floor. I can do an upper curve and a lower curve, but you know, I don't really need to, so I'm not going to even bother with it. Grab our tool here and grab that guy. Levels, like I said, we're working from the Z. We're actually working in metric here, so that's why it shows 25. So we're still doing the inch above the part. Dual path parameters, going to kind of leave everything set to automatic here. I'm not going to even bother changing anything on this one. Same thing with tool axis control. Just kind of leave it how it is. Links, same thing, nothing I'm going to change here. Gouge check, not going to worry about anything. Now, here's the one thing I want to do is I want to take this down in multiple cuts, just because we're cutting a little bit harder material here. So instead of doing by number of slices, I'm going to set it over to by slice distance, and we'll just do every 1.5 millimeters going down. We'll leave it on morph along tool axis. Let's go ahead and do a save and calculate here. So you can kind of see we're following the exact curvature going all the way around this entire wacky part here. So let's kind of see what it looks like. Do a solid verify first here. And now when we're actually doing the, before you guys didn't really get to see a progress, or you got to see just a tiny little progress bar. Now you guys can actually see where it's calculating what percentage it's at right now. So you can see I'm calculating the updated stock. We're at, 97%, 100%, and now we should start be able to simulate here. Okay, so here's kind of what's left over from our 3D eye machining of what's going on here. So go ahead and play this through here. You can kind of see the tool just following along the exact curvature of what's going on there. I'll speed this up a little bit here. A lot of movement going on with all 5 axes. This is definitely doing the full 5 axes, working all at the exact same time here. And we can kind of see the, oh, my A numbers aren't in C numbers. Oh, I got a tabletop exercise post, and that's why. These numbers should be moving around here with your guys' post processor. Let this guy play through here real quick. Now, one thing that, as I kind of getting more familiar with the Swarf here, is there's the functionality inside of like simultaneous 5-axis where you can do a spiraling down. Where this one is, it does one pass around and then it stops, comes out, comes back in and goes down and makes its pass around. I'm going to see if I can talk with development and see if we can get that spiral functionality transferred over onto this portion of it. Now, granted, the Swarf is more meant for just doing one single pass more than, doing multiple passes. But there is that, occasion where you guys are cutting harder material or you need to just take lighter cuts where I think that feature would be much more useful for you guys. Is the GoToMeeting keeping up for you guys on what you're seeing on the screen? Is it looking good for you, Terrence?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks fine to me.
Okay. It shows my audience view at, says 100%, but it shows red for some reason. So I just want to make sure everybody can see it. Perfect. No, okay, thanks, guys. And this is, I've talked about this in the past, and actually did a quick little YouTube video on this too. When you actually slug out something, and you can kind of see where I'm kind of going with this right here, we're actually going to have a slug these big bottom pockets right here. What we've kind of said before is we can do the stock splitting right here, and we can, manually turn it off, but as soon as you go to resimulate something, it's going to turn back on for you guys. Now, this isn't something new. This is something that I've just overlooked for the last couple of years, and I just haven't even realized it. But we'll let this play through here, and you'll kind of see. So we have our slugs hanging out right there. So now if I go to create another operation, those slugs are going to still hang with me in there unless I create like a dummy operation to get rid of it. Well, sadly enough, after using the software after how many years, Greg Payton showed me something really cool. So if you guys go to your SolidCAM, in your Solid Verify, go to your settings, come all the way down to the bottom where it says stock splitting. There is a little checkbox. Do not check for stock splitting. Automatically remove split solids, or you can manually select solids. So if I turn this on, hit OK, and let me hop out of here real quick. And I'm just going to, we'll just do by number of slices so it plays through fast. Wait for a fixture to get brought in here. Okay. So now if I play this through, as soon as it gets pretty much through that little piece right there, it will automatically remove it. Or maybe it's once it's done through the, oh yeah, it's still connected up here. Come on. I have my accuracy set way too tight, and that's why it's taking so long to think here. So as soon as it breaks through that wall, you'll see that slug automatically disappear for you guys. There she goes. So now I don't have to worry about that. Any slugs just kind of hanging off in La La Land. So definitely take advantage of that setting, because that's a nice feature that, like I said, had never even ran across that. Like I said, we can do the stock splitting right here and just temporarily remove it, or you guys can have it set up to automatic, and as soon as you run into a slug, that slug will automatically disappear for you guys as it was never even there. So, all right, any questions on this part here, or any of the settings or anything? Okay. I'll close this guy here. So here's the one I got. I didn't know if I would have time to program this one live for you guys or not. So I'll just kind of walk through this one, and looks like we do have enough time. But so you'll see right here is, our stock is just regular T stock right here, but we have quite the little twist going on right here of, pretty much every single side is twisted. Even the outside perimeter is twisted up here. So great part for using Swarf on. And like I said, I'm just kind of taking a little piece of the pie out of, some of these 5-axis parts. So, you guys obviously may not run into just a straight T-slot that's twisted up like this. But so for what we're going to do for the first one is I want to cut the bottom side. So what I have set up is synchronized with my tilt lines. The face that I'm going to be working on is, like I said, the bottom here. I have upper curve set as the kind of the, I guess, the left side, and the lower curve as the right side. Tool, just standard, what are you running here? Big old dog, 1.5-inch cutter, and so we can get our length in there. Levels, not really gonna, matter too much right here. Toolpath parameters, kind of like I said, letting this just kind of chill out at the automatic of what's going on right here. Same thing with tool axis control, just kind of leaving all the automatic stuff kind of working here. Now what we did right here is did a gouge check on the Swarf surface and did a collision handling balance. So it's going to kind of balance out a gouge. So it's not going to gouge it, but it may leave a little bit of material on there also. So let's just do simulate here. Like I said, taking one nice cut all the way through. You can see we're just not a little bit deep enough there, but that's fine because we actually have quite a bit of material left over on both, kind of going, well here, let me just show you here. So you can see we have plenty of material still left over. So when we go to do the outside perimeter, that will actually trim off that piece for you guys. So that is kind of how the synchronize with the tilt lines works. And like I said, kind of morph between boundary curves, if you want to think of it, that way, how it kind of works. So now we're going to do automatic. So if I just do a show, I want to work on, I guess, the right face right here. So working on that face, upper curve is our top curve right here. Our lower curve is the bottom one right here. I'm using a different tool here. Levels going to still stay the same. Like I said before, kind of leaving everything the same right here. But on this one, I'm going to throw an extension on there and align it with the edge. So I'm going to extend it out, an inch right here. And pretty much at the start and end, I'm adding that extension on there. And this extension is the exact same as, let me just kind of open it up so you guys are kind of familiar. We go to modify this extend trim feature right here. So basically the exact same thing as what we're talking there. Okay, so lining it with the edge and kind of leaving everything else to automatic. Tool axis control, we'll leave it at default values. Gouge check, just kind of going against the guide curve right here. But what I'm doing down here is I'm going to add an additional surface in here, and I'm going to gouge check it against the floor. So you can see I don't want that tool to be gouging into my floor as it's going through there, which it did if I didn't have that turned on. So I had to definitely turn that on. And let's just go ahead and do a simulate here. Plowing right through there. And if we do our sanity check here, everything looks nice and green. And our floor looks good. And looks like we just have a hair of material kind of going along there. And that's going to be the case because we're using a flat end mill and that floor is actually kind of curving along there. So what we'll do is come back and clean up that floor with another pass. So this one, going to do the synchronize with tilt lines, do a little bit different here. Going to be working on the opposite side here. Like I said, it really doesn't matter, I mean, you guys got a lot of different options here and just kind of trying to show you guys a couple different ones. So we've done automatic, tilt lines. I can show my tilt lines are, the vertical or the lines kind of going over here. So I want to kind of keep it tilted within that range. Also throwing, like the morph between curve right here to follow that curve. Same tool, Same stuff right here, leaving it kind of set to automatic right here. I'm going to do another extension on there so it's not stopping at the exact edge right here. Leaving the tool axis control as default, and same thing as what we did before. Do an additional surface right here off of the floor so I'm not gouging into the floor. So we got those sides done. Let's hop over to this guy here. So we'll do tilt lines again, and we're going to do the floor now on the right side. So we want to kind of come up here and clean up that floor. Tilt lines going to be these lines right here. Let me just show you guys. So you want to follow the tilt of these lines of what's going on here. Upper curve is going to be this edge right here. Lower curve going to be down to this edge. And really I didn't need these, but threw it in there as kind of a trial. Same tool, same levels, tool path parameters, everything's kind of staying the same here. Same thing with the extension, same thing with the gouge check. So to kind of show you guys what it's going to be, getting everything kind of trimmed up in space here. And obviously my gouge check this time was this wall right here that I want to gouge against. So got that side, so we can hop over. And that's one thing I always forget to do. I think it's just been used to the older software. There's actually no need to close out of your guys' operation. If you guys want to hop from one operation to another operation, just double click on it and it will reopen it for you. So if you guys are kind of bouncing through, comparing one from another, no need to come over here, close it, or hit the exit button. Definitely just come over here and just double click on it and it will switch over to you automatically. Okay, so we got the left side floor right here. Same tilt lines right here and right here. Upper curve going to be this side right here. Lower curve is going to be right here. Same tool as what we're using before. Levels kind of stay the same here. Or actually, we're kind of going in X. We're the other way. We're going in Y. Everything kind of pretty much the same as what we've done all along here. And just gouge checking against the finished face that we've already done. And, oh, see, I always forget. I always exit out and I don't need to. Going to do a tilt lines for the top here, just trimming off the top. Same thing as before. Tilt lines are just going to be the sides of what's going on, where I want to be tilted to. Upper curve is just going to be the left side. Lower curve is going to be the right side. Same tool. This one I really don't have to worry about the tool gouging into anything at all. It's going to work its way because I don't have to really gouge against anything. Do solid verify here. Buzzing off that top. And last but not least, we are going to be doing the sides. So we're just kind of cutting the sides right here. Our tilt lines are going to be these little lines on the front and back. Our start is going to be our top line, and our end is going to be the bottom line. So like I said before, just like morph between boundary curves. Same tool, same links and all that good stuff here. Gouge check, don't have to worry about it because I'm not going into any material here. Let's do a solid verify again. So you kind of start seeing our parts starting to come alive, and the only side we have left is right over here. And if I just show you guys real quick. So we're over here. Our guide curve is going to be our small little lines. Follow our tool axis control. Start's going to be the top, end is going to be the bottom. Same cutter. Everything's pretty much the same, so I'm not going to go through it all. And do solid verify here. And we have a finished off part here. Got green going all the way around. Now if I get real down in here, I do have a smallest little tiny faint of 4/10 kind of going on there, but you know, we got to remember we're following the curvature of both the side and the floor here with a flat end mill, so we're going to get just the smallest little hair of a line on both sides there, but everything is right down to size. Do a top view for you guys and kind of see exactly what's going on. Questions, guys? Anybody got any questions? That's all I kind of have for the parts tonight and kind of going through. Any questions on the, you know, the geometry aspect of it or tool axis control? Definitely let us know. No questions?
All right.
We put them to sleep, Terrence.
Not you, Kev.
All right, guys. Well, I don't see any questions rolling in here, so like I said, if you guys in previous classes, if you guys want these parts, let me know. I have no problem zipping them up and sending them to you guys. Get those over to you guys right away. You know, and if you guys, you know, have questions, you know, I know it's late at night for some of us, bit early on the West Coast, but if you guys have questions and you come into work tomorrow, it's like, oh, how do you do that? Definitely, I can't stress this enough. Shoot me an email, give me a call on the support line, and we'll be able to get those answered for you guys, no matter what. And like I said, these classes are, you know, solely dedicated just for you guys as a learning tool for you guys, free training, however you want to think of it. And like I said, we want to do these at night for you guys, so you're not getting pulled in 5 bazillion directions out on the shop floor. It's not noisy for you guys. You can just sit in the old lazy boy and kind of learn something here. But definitely, can't stress enough, let me know what we can do to help out. And, you know, if you guys have questions, let us know. And then this will be uploaded to YouTube about 1 o'clock, midnight. And then next week, there will be no night class. Got to take a little PTO next week. So then after that, we will get into, if you guys are okay with it, we will do a what's new in SolidCAM 2017. Try to put together as much as I can because there is a ton of stuff in there. For everybody that I have in the group right now, there is a section of what's new with the mill turn side of things. I'm going to get into the turning and the mill turn right after the 5-axis, but do you guys, are you guys more focused on what's new on 2017 for milling, or would you guys like to see milling and turning? If you guys could just throw a couple comments in there if you just want milling or milling and turning for the what's new 17, and let me know, because like I said, I don't want to, okay, get a couple most of millings here. Milling, both. Okay.
Both.
We'll try to touch base on both. We'll spend the majority of it on the milling, but what we'll do is we'll bring some turning into it, and as I start teaching the turning for you guys and getting in the mill turn, we'll bring up that stuff once again too. So maybe we'll lightly touch it at, you know, in 2 weeks, but then we'll dive head first in the deep end once we start the turning side of things, because like I said, they've added a ton of new stuff both on the milling and the turning side of things. So definitely want to show that off to you guys. So, and then like I said, if you guys are looking for 17, shoot me an email. I do have access for all of you guys that have the dongle license right now to get 2017. The only thing is I'm waiting for headquarters on getting the software license, and some of you have asked for it, and we've gotten those software licenses turned around. I'm just waiting for the mass quantity batch to send out. But if you guys want it tomorrow, I can get it set up for you guys tomorrow and get a license for you and be rolling with 17 right away. So let me know what you want, and we'll do what we can to help you guys out. Terrence, got anything else before we shut her down?
No, I really appreciate the input tonight on the agenda for coming up for showing these guys the 2017. That was a great idea.
Yeah, I think we'll get a lot of oohs and ahs on the What's New 17, and unfortunately it's tough because everybody in the company is extremely involved, but more than anything we really rely off of you guys, of what you guys want to see in there, and we've implemented those ideas in there for 17, and that's why it's taken a little bit longer to get launched out and get the ball rolling on 17, is because it's the old saying, you add one thing in there and 20 other things break. So getting that all squared away, and like I said, all the new stuff in there. The chain selection for 17, I got some pretty cool stuff to show you guys. No more clicking chains. Basically, all you guys have to do is click on a face. It's automatically going to mark open edges. It's going to do a lot of cool stuff for you. So really excited to show you guys that, but I won't do the spoiler alert till 2 weeks from now. But all right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thanks again for watching the night class. Appreciate all the feedback and suggestions and stuff, guys. So keep it up, and
have a great holiday, guys.
Yeah, have a great holiday, absolutely. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you then. And if you guys do have questions in the meantime, you know where to get a hold of me at. So, all right, guys, have a great night.